So I'll pass on to the module 1, part B. First question, that is 11th question. Two rollers, each of weight 75 Newton, are supported by an inclined plane and a vertical wall. Find the reaction at the points of contacts A, B, and C. Assume all the surfaces to be smooth. So this is the question. This is a vertical wall, a vertical wall. This is vertical wall. This is inclined plane. This plane is inclined at 45 degrees. It is shown here, 45 degrees. There are two rollers resting one above the other. We're asked to find out the reactions RA, the contact surface RB, and the reaction at the contact surface RC. So the reactions will act normal to this inclined surface. RB and RC are perpendicular to the surface, and RA is perpendicular to this vertical wall. So RA is horizontal, RB and RC are normal to this inclined surface. Let us, whenever you get such problems, you have to draw the free body diagram. Then apply the equations of equilibrium to solve the necessary results. So solve for the necessary results. So first of all, let us consider the top ball, the top roller I have considered. Free body diagram. I have freed it from this ball as well as from this surface. So the surface is shown with a dotted line. This is the ball. What are the forces acting? The first force is always W. The W acting centrally downward from the center. The normal reaction, normal to the surface. So this is the direction of normal reaction. I have extended it along the center. It is extended to the other side to make it easy for calculation. So the normal reaction between the surface and the ball, this is RC. Then this lower ball exerts a pressure or a contact reaction to this top ball. This acts from the lower ball to this ball, from this to in this direction. This is the direction of that force. It will exert a force like this. So along this direction, the force will be in this direction. Similarly, here also I have extended it from the center to the other side. Okay, so the top ball is subject to three forces. One is RC, the other one is reaction from the lower ball to the top ball, R. I have named it as R. Then the self weight. So it is taken to the other side. It is drawn separately here. This is the joint RC, R, W. Okay, these are the three forces. Now we have to get the angles. This is inclined at 45. The plane is inclined at 45. So angle between the normal to that plane and normal to the vertical. That is, if I draw a vertical line here, if I drop a vertical, this angle is 45 degree. Therefore, this is also 45. The angle which the normal reaction makes with vertical, this is 45. It is shown here. So always remember it. Okay, angle between two planes is, if it is for theta, angle between the normal to that plane and the vertical is also theta. So I have got this as 45 degree. This angle which it makes with horizontal, this is also 45 degree. This is 90. This totally it is 90. So I have got this much angle. So it is, if this is 45, this is totally 180. So 180, so 90 plus 45, 135. The remaining also, this is 45. So this remaining angle is 180 minus 45, 135. So all the angles are marked in the figure. Now you apply the Lami's theorem. Three forces acting at a point. W 75 divided by this angle. This is 90. W by sine 90. Now remember this force. This R is parallel to this plane. The center connecting both the balls are of same diameter. So the line connecting the centers is parallel to the inclined plane. So this R is making 45 degrees. Now 75 by sine 90 is equal to RC. If this is RC, this total angle is 90 plus 45, 135, and R divided by this angle, that is also 135. So I have written the Lami's theorem. Solve between these two. First two എടുത്താൽ you can R കിട്ടും. Then taking the first and the last, you can get RC. Okay, so we have got the contact reaction between the balls as well as this reaction. Now we have to get Ra as well as Rb. For that, you consider the free body diagram of the bottom ball. Consider the free body diagram of the bottom ball. There it will be subjected to a pressure from the other one. From the top ball, it will be subjected to a reaction, a contact reaction, which I have extended to the other direction. I have extended like this. So that is R. Okay. Sulfate W acting downwards. Then the reaction, this contact surface normal reaction RB. So RB I have extended to the other side. So considering this, there are four forces. I have drawn it separately. RB, R, W as well as RA. RA the vertical reaction for the vertical surface, normal reaction to this vertical surface. So four forces are there. So he cannot apply Lami's theorem. We have to go for the equilibrium equation. So first, let me see. Sigma Fy is equal to 0. What are the forces acting? This RB. RB component along this direction will be RB sine 45, RB cos 45. 45 with vertical, so RB cos 45 positive. This R is component along this direction will be R cos 45. So it is R cos 45 negative. W downward, so it is also negative, is equal to 0. Okay. Now from that we get RB cos 45 and from that we get RB. Next, let Fx is equal to 0. Sigma Fx 0. In the x direction, RA, this is one force. RB, when we resolve RB, it will be along this direction. So it is negative. RB, this angle, this is also 45. So RB sine 45. This R, when you resolve, this will also be in this direction. So minus R sine 45 is equal to 0. So from that we get, since we have got RB value from here, I can get RA also. Thus, all the three reactions are obtained by drawing the same free body diagram and applying the equilibrium equations. Let me go on to the question number 12. Question number 12. ABCD is a square of side 6 meter. Forces acting along AB, BC, CD, DA, AC and DB are 1.5, 3, 12, 7.5, 7.5 root 2 and 3 root 2 kilonewton respectively. Find the resultant force and the resultant moment about D. So this is the question. It's a square, 6 meter side. Forces are shown 1.5, 3, 12 as given in the question. Now, this is a general coplanar force system. All the forces acting in the same plane, but they are acting at different points. So to find the resultant, it is very simple. Take sigma fx, sigma fy, and r is equal to root of sigma fx square plus fy square. So let us find out the resultant. Sigma fx, this is 1.5, 1.5. 3 doesn't have any contribution to horizontal portion because it is simply vertical. Minus 12. So 1.5 positive, 12 negative, minus 12. Now there are inclined force. The 7.5 root 2, when you resolve it, it's a square. So this angle is 45. Being a square, this angle is 45 degree. So the 7.5 root 2, when you resolve it, the horizontal component will be along this direction. 7.5 root 2 cos 45. So 7.5 root 2 cos 45. Then this inclined force, when you resolve this, this will be the horizontal component. 3 root 2 cos 45. 3 root 2 cos 45. So when you add up all these together, you're getting an answer 0. Come to sigma Fy. Sigma Fy is vertical forces. First vertical force 7.5 upwards. Then this 3 root 2, its vertical component will be along this direction. 3 root 2 sine 45 because 3 root 2 is away from the joint. So its vertical component and horizontal component will be away from the joint. So 3 root 2 sine 45 positive. What about the 7.5 root 2? For the 7.5 root 2, this horizontal component away from the joint, vertical component will be like this. So it is also downwards. So minus 7.5 root 2 sine 45. Then this 3, that is downwards, so minus 3. Summing up, here also we get 0. Sigma fx is 0, sigma fy is 0. Therefore, the resultant, how will you find out the resultant? Resultant is equal to root of fx square plus fy square. This is the expression for resultant force. Since both Fx and Fy are 0, the resultant is 0. Second part of the question is find the resultant moment about D. So take moment about D. 1, 2, 3 forces passing through D. So the 3 forces doesn't have any moment. This 1.5 kilonewton, this is the line of action. It is acting at a perpendicular distance of 6 meter from D. So 1.5 into 6, that will produce clockwise moment. This arrow rotate in the clockwise direction, 1.5 into 6. This 3 into this perpendicular distance. This distance is also 6. So 3 into 6, that is also clockwise. So 1.5 into 6 plus 3 into 6. Now the 7.5 root 2. The 7.5 root 2, this is the line of action. This is the perpendicular distance. There is half of this diagonal. If 6 is the side, 6 root 2 is the diagonal, isn't it? So this will be half of 6 root 2. So 6 root 2 by 2. So that will give you the total moment. It's a very simple example carrying 14 marks. So module 1, the questions based on equilibrium as well as based on resultant and equilibrium equations, free body diagram, and resultant of concurrent as well as non-concurrent coplanar forces is completed. Module 1 and 2. Module 1. Then coming to module 2, 13B. 13A is a descriptive question for 4 mark. What do you understand by support reactions? Support reactions are, in order to keep a beam in equilibrium, when the external loads are acting on a beam, the supports will offer some resistance. For an action, there will be a reaction. So the reactive forces acting on the supports, which are opposite to the external forces, together with the external forces, the support reactions keep the system in equilibrium. In order to find the support reactions, we have to make use of the equilibrium equations. Sigma Fx is equal to 0, sigma Fy is equal to 0, and sigma M is equal to 0. And the 13B is a question based on that. We are given a simply supported beam. Find out the support reactions A and B. So question 13B is find the reactions of the support. So this is the question. This end is called hinge. This end is called roller. So draw the free body diagram. Free body diagram means you remove the supports and show all the external forces acting on it, including the support reactions. So I have drawn the beam. In the hinge, there will be 2 reactions. Always remember a vertical reaction RAV and a horizontal reaction RAH. I am assuming RAV and RAH. In the roller, there will be only one reaction which is normal to the roller surface. So there is only one reaction RB. Then mark the external loads 8 kilonewton. This inclined load is resolved 5 sine 25 vertical and 5 cos 25 horizontal. This is acting at this point. So towards the joint, you have to mark the arrows. That is why 5 sine 25 downwards and 5 cos 25 towards left. 13. Now forget about this figure. Consider this. First of all, write sigma Fx is equal to 0. X direction forces RAH. 5 cos 25 opposite. So for RAH minus 5 cos 25 equals 0. So you will get RAH. Sigma Fy. Consider the vertical forces. RAV acting upwards. This RB acting upwards. So RAV plus RB acting upwards minus 8 minus 5 sine 25 minus 13 is equal to 0. From that I get RAV plus RB is equal to one equation. Next, take moment of all the forces about A. These two are acting at this particular point, so it doesn't have any moment. This 5 cos 25 line of action is passing through A, so it also doesn't have any moment about A. Consider the remaining forces. 8 into perpendicular distance. This is the distance 1 meter. So 8 into 1 produces clockwise. 8 into 1. 5 sine 25 into this distance. 1 plus 1.5 is 2.5. 5 sine 25 into 2.5. 13 into this much distance, 1.5, 1.53 plus 1, 4. So 13 into 4. Now this RB is acting a total distance 1 plus 3, 4 plus 1, 5. RB into 5. RB this is the direction of arrow, it will produce an anti-clockwise moment. If you rotate this force about this point, it will produce an anti-clockwise moment. So from that, we get in this equation, only unknown is RB, you get RB. Substitute this RB here, we can get RAV. So now we have the value of RAV, RAH, these two reactions at this point, RAV as well as RAH is known to us. Hence, we can find the total reaction. The total reaction at A, RA will be square root RAH square plus RAV square. So it is 11.03 Newton. And what about this direction? This direction. So for that, tan theta is equal to vertical by horizontal, RAV by RAH. We get 65.75 degrees with the horizontal. Okay. Next, I'll pass on to question number 14. I will read the question. Two wedges A and B are used to raise another block C weighing 1000 Newton as shown in figure. Assuming coefficient of friction as 0.25 for all the surfaces, determine the value of P for impending upward motion of C. So this question is, I have already explained in detail in my video class of lecture 25, wedge friction. I'll give the link here below this so that you can go through the link and find the answer for that question. Next, passing on to question number 15. A rectangular concrete slab supports loads at its four corners. Determine the resultant and the point of application of the resultant. So this question, this is the question given to you. This comes in module 3, forces in space or three-dimensional force system. Actually, this is not included in the syllabus. Your syllabus mentions only concurrent forces in space. That is all the forces passing through one single point. This is actually, the forces are parallel forces. This is three-dimensional forces in space parallel to each other. So this is x direction. So I'll mark three-dimensional force system. If this is x direction positive, y upwards is taken as positive, and this is z direction. These are the three-dimensional force system. Even though it is not included in the syllabus, I repeat, I'll give you the answer because sometimes if you get similar questions in this time also, it will be useful for you. So actually, we have to represent everything in vector form in three-dimensional force system. So I will represent, this is x, y, z. So the force F0 is given as 125. That is in the x direction, we give I. Any force can be represented as Fxi in the x direction component if it is there, Fxi, plus if there is any component in the y direction, we'll write it as Fyj, plus if the Fzk, I, J, K are vectors. For this force, there is F0 is acting purely in vertical direction or y direction. There is no Fx component or Fz component. So that force is equal to Fyj, that is 125J. The sign is negative because y positive is upward. So here all the forces are acting in y direction. So all the forces can be represented as minus 125J, Fa minus 250J, Fc minus 100J, Fb minus 150J. So this is the vector representation of all these given forces. Resultant of set of forces is vector sum of all the forces. Vector sum of F0, Fa, Fb and Fc. So algebraically, everything is in J direction. Simply add it together. 125, 250, 150, 100. You will get the resultant is minus 625J. It's very simple. Okay, we have got the resultant as vector sum of the various forces. So we got the resultant as minus 625J. Now we have to find out the position of the resultant. For finding the position of the resultant, we have seen in 2D analysis, if the distance of the resultant is x, r into x is equal to sigma m, moment about any point. as such here, first thing is find the moment of all these forces about any one point O. So we have to find the resultant of these forces about this point O. So in the vector calculation, moment is given by cross product of the position vector R and the force vector F. So point O, let us find out the coordinates. Let it be 0, 0, 0. So the point A, it is at a distance 4 meter from O in the X direction. So this is X, Z, Y. So all these points A, B, C, O are in the XZ plane. This is X, this is Z, XZ plane. So Y coordinate will be 0. So point O, it is 0. Point A along the X direction 4 meter. Along the X direction 4 meter. Y is 0 as well as Z is 0. For the point B, it moves from here X 4 meter, then Z is 5 meter. So X4, Z5 and Y is 0. For the point C, X is 0, Z is 5, 0, 5, Y is 0. Now, let us find the position vector ROA. This OA. ROA is given by A minus O. So 4 minus 0 I, 0 minus 0 J, 0 minus 0 K. So I have not written 0 values. It is 4I. Similarly, the position vector ROB will be 4 minus 0, 4I, 0 minus 0, 0J, 5 minus 0, 5K. Position vector ROC will be 0, 0, 5K. So we have got the position vectors. Now, the moment of force about any point O is given by R cross F. So for the first force, the force FO acting at the point O, so it will not be having any moment. Moment of this force A about O will be FA into R ROA, position vector OA cross F. That is written here. Moment of F is equal to R cross F. ROA is here 4I. F is here minus 250J. FA is minus 250J. Now you have studied in mathematics the cross product rule. If I, J, K, if it is taken in clockwise, I cross J will be equal to K. J cross K will be I. I cross J, K. J cross K, I. K cross I will be J. If you take it in the reverse direction, J cross I will be minus of K. Okay. So with this bearing in mind, we can find out 4I into 250J. I cross J is K. 4 into 250 minus 1000 K. Similarly, moment of FB about O will be position vector 4I plus 0J plus 5K cross multiply with FB. FB is minus 150J. So here the cross multiplication, we have IJK right here. Then write down the coefficients 4, 0, 5. Then 0, I 0, K 0. J is minus 150 and K is 0. So we are written here. So take the determinant I into 0 minus minus 150 into 5, 750. J into 4 into 0, 0, 5 into 0, 0. K into 150 into 4 minus 600. So we get the moment is 750I minus 600K. Similarly, moment of C about O. ROC is position vector 5K into 100J. K into J is minus of I. K into J is minus of I. So it is plus 500. It is minus 500. This product is minus, so 500I. So we'll get adding up together minus 1000K. This one 750I minus 600K. This is 500I. So add together I terms 750 plus 500, 1250. 1000 plus 600, 1600. So this is the total moment of all the forces about the point O. Now, let us assume the coordinate of the R. The resultant is acting at a distance xd, zd. These are the coordinates of the resultant. What is the position vector? This OD, xd minus 0i, yd minus 0i, zd minus 0i. I, j, k. So x di, there is no y coordinate for that. This r is also in the xz plane. So 0j is a dk. Now take the moment of this resultant about O, that is equal to position vector OD cross R. R we have got 625j. So I cross j is k, 0, 0, zd, k cross j is minus I. So we'll get the product as this. The moment of the resultant is this value. Equate it to the moment which you have got already. This is the moment of all the forces about that particular point. Compare the items. Item 1250y is equal to 625 ZD. So 625 ZD is equal to 1250. From that we get ZD. Compare the K term. Minus 1600K is equal to minus 625 XD. So minus, from that we get XD. So we got the point of application of the resultant. Moving on to the last question in this module, question number 16. Find the moment of inertia of a plate with circular hole about its centroidal, horizontal and vertical axis. Also calculate the radius of gyration about x-axis. So this is a question of moment of inertia. So consider this: from a rectangular plate, a circular hole is cut out. So we have to find out the total moment of inertia of this section will be moment of inertia of this rectangle, that is divided as spaces as 1. Area 1 is rectangle. The cut area circle is area 2. So Ixx of 1 minus Ixx of 2 will be the moment of inertia about xx axis. So we have to find out the centroidal xx axis of this section. So here, with respect to y-axis, it is symmetrical. So there is no need for finding this value x bar. The centroidal x bar value will be 200 itself, since it is symmetrical about y-axis. So we have to find out the center of the axis from the bottommost reference line. This is reference line. Let y bar be the distance to the centroid. To find the centroid, we have the equation a1y1 minus a2y2 by a1 minus a2. Put it in the tabular form. First area, a rectangle, area is 400 by 600. The distance to the centroid of the rectangle total height is 600. So its centroid y1 is 300. Second one, circle area pi d raised to 4 by 64. It is put a negative sign because it is cut out, cut from this, so minus. Now, centroid of this circle from the bottommost line, that is y2. y2 is 400. It is shown in the figure itself, 400. So y2 is 400. Do ay, a2 y2, a1 y1, a2 y2, a1 minus a2, that is sigma a, because it is already given minus. So sigma 72 minus 28, 43. So a1 y1 minus a2 y2, or sigma ay divided by sigma a will give you the y bar distance. Y bar is 258. Once you get y bar, you find h, because in moment of inertia we have the calculation Ixx of a section about the centroidal axis is equal to Igg, moment of inertia about its own center of gravity axis, plus ah square, where this h is nothing but absolute value of y minus y bar. Y for the first section is 300, y1. Y bar is 258. So y minus y bar absolute value 41.72. For the second area, it is y2 400. 400 minus 258.28 is 141.72. So find, write down h also along with this tabular form. Now, for the rectangle, moment of inertia Igg is bdq by 12. So bdq by 12 we have written here, plus a, this is area, h 41.72. So we have got the moment of inertia of the first rectangle about the centroidal axis. Coming to circle, second area, moment of Igg is pi d raised to 4 by 64. This is a, this is h, this is area 70650. This is 141.72. So we have written Igg plus ah square. This is the total value. So the moment of inertia of this entire section is Ixx of 1 minus Ixx of 2. So we'll get the moment of inertia of this entire section about xx axis. Now we are asked to find out the radius of gyration. Radius of gyration is I is equal to a k square, where k is called the radius of gyration, is equal to root of I by a. So root of ixx divided by area. This is the net area. Root of ixx by this area will give you the radius of gyration. Iyy of the section, moment of inertia about this axis is dbq by 12 for the rectangle, dbq by 12 minus pi d raised to 4 by 64 for a circle. The moment of inertia about y-axis as well as x-axis both are same, pi d raised to 4 by 64. So we have got the moment of inertia about y-axis also. So with that, I think we come to the end of the answering of all the questions of January 2021. The questions of module 4 and 5 is already answered in a previous video. The link of that video will be given below in the description box. Thank you, and hope this will give an insight to all the modules of engineering mechanics. Go through it and do well in the upcoming exams. Thank you.